come. Please sit down. So, Tanuj, how has your stay been here in the last few days?
So it has been very good.
Okay, from your PIQ form, I see that you studied at Sanskriti School.
Yes, sir.
One of the very famous schools in Delhi, and thereafter you did your graduation from Ramnath Anand College, Evening College.
Yes.
Can you compare these two institutions?
So both of them had their own pros and cons, I would actually say. Sanskriti gave me the exposure towards achieving higher. Ramnath Anand College gave me a real world exposure, how the real world is. Having all people from various sections of the society, I got much better chance to understand people over there. In Sanskriti I didn't, because everybody was more or less on the top notch. People like the bureaucrats or the politicians, like for instance Lalu Prasad Yadav's daughter used to study in my class. So I had the top notch in Sanskriti. In Ramnath Anand College Evening, I had people from all sections. And the learning experience, in fact, regarding people was way better in Ramnath Anand. But the values and all were gained from Sanskrit.
So is there any difference between the evening college and the morning college, or what are your...
So the thing is that there are over 2 lakh people who pass out 12 in Delhi, and the seats available are just 54,000 in Delhi University. So I had to go in for an evening college, but the course given to me was something which I actually wanted to do. And moreover, being a professional course was in a limited number of colleges. I had an entrance exam for the same. And Ramnath Anand College was the nearest to my house. I used to put up in Motibagh earlier. So it was the nearest to my place. So that is the reason why I took it.
Okay, then suppose we talk, what we'll do is in the next 40 minutes or so, we'll talk about you.
Yes, sir.
We'll cover areas about your education, family, spare time, interests, etc. in detail. I already have some idea about you from this PIQ form that you have filled in. However, you can now talk freely about yourself and all your activities. So suppose we talk more about your education. What I would be interested in is the marks you have achieved in various examinations that you went through from your 10th class onwards, the extracurricular activities that were there in your school and college, and events you took part in, any special achievements in those fields. Also tell me about your friends, your closest friends, and why do you consider them close to you, and also the ones you avoided and why. And teachers whom you like and those that did not impress you much and why. How was your education, finance? What all competitive examinations did you appear in after your class 12 and after graduation? Any campus placement that took place, etc. in detail. You can start from your 10th class onwards.
So in 10th I secured 82%. I was studying in Sanskriti school. And I used to play cricket and football just on the class level, nothing more than that. Then in 12th, I secured 69%, and the reason for the same being I played more sports now. I played cricket and football, and plus I took part in 100 meters and 400 meters sprint and long jump. In 100 meters, I won gold medal. In long jump, Delhi State, I secured 4th position.
4th position in the state?
Delhi State. And followed by that, I took part after 12th and 79% when I scored. I gave 3 entrance exams. One was BBA, the other one was BBE, which I did finally, and the other one was CLAT for law. CLAT, Common Law Aptitude Test, I couldn't clear that.
Okay.
After that, sir, I took BBE, and in BBE, I took Ramnath Anand College Evening. I secured 56% overall in BBE, and the reason for the same being, marks didn't matter much to me initially, that's what I thought, and I was accompanied by wrong people around me in 12th, so the marks had to go down, so I had to leave them and then look at my studies also. And moving on to friends, after college, I gave 3 entrance exams. One was CAT, the other was math and SNAP. CAT, sir, I scored 46 percentile, that wasn't a good score. SNAP I secured 56 percentile. They have changed the criteria, so I couldn't even understand how they manage 56 percentile. And the other one, I couldn't appear for the people having fever and all, so that is the reason. So moving to friends, I have a lot of friends from the very beginning. I've been more of a social person since I like being around people and I'm not a very materialistic person as it is. So for friends, in 10th, my closest friend was Shashank Reddy.
Shank Reddy.
Shashank Reddy.
Shashank Reddy.
Shashank Reddy. And Sumit Kumar Meena and Nilal Kumar. These were my closest friends, accompanied by Prabhat, then Karan, Shashank Samantre, Karan Sethi, Kabir, and many more. So these are the people whom I used to be around. Then in 12th, Shashank Reddy, Nilal Kumar and Sumit Kumar Meena stayed as the closest friend. And again, being in the same school, the group remained the same, the circle remained the same. However, now I had people from other schools also because I used to go for my tuitions and all. So Pratik, Ingrid, Renuka, Natasha, Kanchakala, these were the people whom I got to know, and that's still my friends. So after that, in 12th, I came to college, I did BB, and in BB, the friends which I made was in first year was Nancy Gautam. She was the first friend whom I made. She has been one of the most important person in my life. Nancy Gautam.
Nancy Gautam.
She has been one of the most important person in my life. Since I had a fear of language English, and I don't know why, but I had developed that fear over a period of time. And then she told me that, irrespective of the fact how wrong you are, just try to speak in English. And she gave me that initial kick which was required. And she took me for various events. She was the one who motivated me in college to go for events. So in college, I also took part in sports, but again, due to her motivation towards me and her trust and belief in me, she motivated me to take part in various other academic events like debate, group discussions, business plans, and I did well in that. So in B-Plan, I won 3 or 4 B-Plans. I did well in box talk also, in which I had interest. Debates I was able to perform, and group discussions, due to my voice maybe, I had an impact. So these are the things, and that is the reason why she holds a very important place. Apart from Nancy, sir, Pavitra, Bulbul, Gaurav, all these 4 people are very important. Followed by from other colleges, Abhishek, who is now doing CA. Then Amitesh Anand, he is doing journalism as of now. These 2 people also made an important place in my life. Teachers, in school, there wasn't any teacher as such whom I did like, but yes, my maths teacher, since my hand was very weak in maths, she didn't take every student by her merit. That is one thing which I didn't like, because every student is not same. You need to work on various situations with various different athletes. That's what I believe in, sir. She took every student to be the same. She wanted everybody to be the topper, everybody to score 100, which is not possible. Everybody has their own strength and weaknesses.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that, and people who were even scoring 60, 65, she thought as if they were not worth anything. People who scored 90, she used to pay all her attention towards them. And I thought that wasn't the right way to go about it. At the same side, in accounts, my teacher was Sanjukta ma'am in 12. I was one of the very good students of my class in accounts. And she made sure that students who don't need that much attention don't get that much attention. Students who need attention get that attention. So she used to pay more attention towards students who were weak in their studies. And that is what I really liked about her. But at the same point in time, she didn't do that, she ignored us completely. If we had any doubts, she used to clarify that very well. And my tuition sir, Mr. Anand, he was a brilliant teacher, sir, because he gave me that first lesson of strictness in life. And that made me into a good person. That helped me turn into a good person. He also helped me get out of the wrong company in which I had got into in 12th. So that was very important for me, sir. In college, Harish Dhawan, sir, because again, more than a teacher, he was like a father. He guided the students. He didn't have any personal grudges against anybody. He never held that. And he did make sure that the relationship between a student and a teacher exists, but at the same amount of time, he was a father, a friend, and that was very important. He guided us. Then Astha ma'am, I don't know, sir, maybe her way to deal with kids wasn't right. She wanted attention, that's what I felt. She wanted to gain attention from the students. She wanted people to be all around her, students to be all around her every time. That is, I don't think, the right way to go ahead in life. Getting fake publicity, getting fake attention is not me. I really don't like that, sir.
Can you give an example?
So after class, if you don't take her books and leave her to the staff room, then she will consider you to be a bad person. I don't think that's the work of a student. The work of a student is to study and gain the knowledge. So I don't like that. So I mean, in Hindi we call that chapusi. You get the internal marks, and that is allowed in Delhi University. So that is something which I didn't like.
Okay. So, Tarun, you said that you had sort of fear of English.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
So, fear of English was that there were people from various sections of the society, from the top-notch society,
Okay.
and these people were brilliant in their language skills. The vocabulary was something, it was, I mean, at that point of time, that is what I felt, it was somewhere where I could never reach. I had that fear. And I had a hesitation on using the language. So I never even used it much. Apart from the time when I had to, in class or in the examination.
But you studied throughout in a CBSE school and
Yes,
in
sir.
English medium. So why did you have
Writing
that?
was never an issue, sir. The spoken part was because I always felt that I would be wrong when I talk in English. I had that fear. So she helped me move out of that fear.
Okay.
That was
So,
the fear which I did.
what is this, in your class 12, you mentioned that you got into the company of wrong people. What was all this about? How did you get into the company? Who were the kind of people you didn't like? And what happened thereafter?
Yes, sir. So, these people were people who had dropped out from school. People who had no ambition in life. They didn't have anything to achieve for. Or even if they had something to achieve for, that was very good. So, how did I get into? I was living in a government colony, sir. That was Motiwal.
Okay.
So people keep coming in and moving out. So all my close people at that point of time had moved out. And I being a social person don't like to sit at home. I used to go out to play cricket again. So I found these new people. And these new people used to play cricket for money. Those were the wrong kind of people. Though I never placed my money on those games or anything like that. But they used to also smoke. And that is something which I got into. I got influenced by that at that point in time. And that is a mistake which I made. And I started smoking. And this thing affected my schooling also and my 12th marks also, because apart from smoking, they insisted me to come for a school bunk. I bunked my school. And I went on the wrong track where I should have never been. I started bunking school. And this thing affected my pre-board and then followed by my board results, in which I did very bad, pathetic. It should have been around if I know my capabilities well, it should have been around 80s, if not 90s.
Okay.
But I secured 69 and I had a huge debacle. And around my pre-board times, I realized that I have been on the wrong track and I left the cup. Elsewise, it would have not even been 69, it would have been somewhere around 39 or 40, because I had been bunking so much and I was on a very wrong track. Then after my board debacle, I knew I have to come back. So then in college, I started to study. And because I knew that at the end of the day, for the general society, marks will make a difference. Knowledge, I might be having it, but it's of no use unless I have some marks to back on it. So then I started to study well, and at the same time, took part in my sports. I didn't need sports for that, but I took out more time. I cut down on my sleeping hours to cover up for the loss which I made in school. I did my NCRT 12th maths all over again in college first year, and then I moved ahead. And slowly and gradually, for instance, in the first semester, I secured 44%. And in the final semester, I secured 69% in college. And it all went up on an increasing rate. And nothing was at like 44, went 43. It wasn't like that. 44, followed by 46, followed by 50, followed by 52, then 67, and then 69. So I made sure that it was always on an increasing rate and it doesn't go down.
So what about your smoking habit and the other?
Smoking habit did come down. I have not left it because then later I started enjoying the taste of tobacco. But again, I didn't let schools go. I don't smoke that much, but yes, I do smoke.
And what about the other habits, bunking classes?
All
what were
those
the other habits?
bunking in college was something like, if I knew about some lecture, I have started because I have a lot of interest in the financial market. And my course was related to financial markets. In every semester I had one out of four, one subject was towards the financial sector. So in those classes, if something was very well known to me, and I had some other work regarding sports, cricket team, I was a part of the cricket team, college cricket team. So then I used to bunk classes. I used to miss that class and then go for the practice. I have bunked classes in colleges also, sir.
How much?
So 85% I maintained. So out of every 6 classes, I used to bunk one.
Okay. Was it related to any particular subject or any particular teacher?
So financial classes only, because I was pretty much comfortable with these classes.
Okay.
And the rest, attendance was the main issue in Delhi University, because the vice chancellor also changed in the second year when I was in. He was very strict about the fact of attendance.
Okay.
So they didn't regard sports as anything. For them, sports was something equal to being a waste of time. So I maintained my 85% to get the 5 marks of internal, the attendance marks, and at the same point of time give time to my sports. And to give more time, we used to come early for sports and then practice for our team.
Okay, Tarun, suppose you were to compare your personality with Shashank and Sumit.
Yes, sir.
Let us say, for example, how would you compare these three personalities?
Shashank and Sumit. So Sumit is a bit greedy at times. He values money more than people. I don't value people more than money. For me, people are more important than money. I'm not a very materialistic person. Sumit is a very materialistic person. For him, brands make a lot of difference. Wearing a short which is not Nike is absolutely against him. He being a Man U fan, wearing a jersey means only wearing a jersey of Man United. For me, wearing a normal t-shirt and then playing soccer is absolutely fine. Shashank and I are more or less very same. There are 2 or 3 points of difference which I can think of. Apart from that, Shashank, for instance, has a lot of interest in history, sir. A lot of interest in history. For him, history is something where he thinks he can get the cues to all his life problems. And I usually think history should be given importance, but not that much. We should work on what we have right now. He gives importance to what happened in the past. He values or judges people based on the past. I judge people on their present, if I have to. And that is one difference which I think exists between me and Shashank. Apart from that, Shashank loves to watch English movies, which I do. I always prefer watching Hindi movies.
You talked about the first lesson of strictness which you are teaching. What is this first lesson of strictness, and what were you doing earlier before that? What were the problems that you were facing?
So, I have a very smiling face. That's something which many people have told me.
Okay.
So I was there in the tuition classes, and it was the second week or something. And Anand sir was a bit angry or something at me because I hadn't scored that good. As per his expectations, out of 50 I secured 47. And Anand sir was expecting a 50. And I missed on those 3 marks due to my silly mistake. So Anand sir was scolding me and I had a smile by mistake on my face. By mistake, being a smiley face, my head was down and I had a big smile. The shame smile which you have. And Anand sir saw that. He held my neck and he being very strong, lifted me up. And then he made me turn into a cock and I had to sit like that in the class. That was the first lesson of strictness. And after that he made sure I do the entire exercise of P.S. Gariwal. There were roughly around 62 questions, I still remember. 62 questions in that exercise. And I did that till around 10 o'clock. The class started at 4. Until 10 he made sure that I do each and every question of that exercise.
So how often have you been punished and for what all reasons?
So apart from that, being in sports more or less, our punishments used to be, okay, take 10 rounds of the ground. So we used to enjoy that, do front rolls, do the German drill, do push-ups. So we used to enjoy that. So those weren't really punishments because at the end of the day, physical part is what is the basis of any sports personality. So in any sports you have to do that. So we took it as a task, not as a punishment.
Okay, Tarun, suppose we talk more about your family.
Yes, sir.
What I would be interested in knowing is what exactly does your father do? What about your mother? Who are the other family members like brothers, sisters, etc.? Whom do you approach for help in case you have a problem? Whom do you confide in? And what are the activities you are involved in your house? How much pocket money do you get? How do you spend that pocket money? And who are your friends in your neighborhood and what social, cultural and other activities you take part in? You can start with your father.
So my father is working with DRDO in SSPL division in Lens and Silicon branch. I'm not so close to my father because of our mindset on the thinking process. My mother is working with South Asian University as head administrator and I'm very close to her. And my sister has just done her post-graduation in gender studies, and she's as of now looking for a job. So in my locality, there are 4-5 people who are now my friends. One being Ajay Kaushik, Harshad Gupta, Anand Kumar, and Piyush Acharya. These are the 4-5 people who are close to me in my locality. I've recently moved into this new locality in about 6-7 months. And these people are fun to be around. We play cricket during the evening time. And apart from that, somebody broke into my house lately. So for the society, we have been working on this thing. We have written a letter to the local MLA to install security cameras. And we have also designed a roster for the local security. People security, we will be taking around in the locality to secure the locality. Apart from that, we are taking more steps towards the cleanliness of the society. For instance, the labourers, there are a lot of labourers around, and there's a village called Pilanji village near my college. So Piyush has a coaching institute. So with Piyush's help, we went to them, to the Pilanji village, and we asked Delhi labourers people to send their children to school, and the guidance required. For instance, if there are people from very low section of the society, Delhi labourers, casual labourers, their children have science and math and commerce. These are the 2 subjects which they have. Now, I help them learn English, the verbal spoken English, because I don't think that should be a reason for somebody to have a dead pen or act as a cardio. Because I've faced that issue and I know the feeling living with it is not so great. You know something and still you're not able to use it is very bad. Piyush helps them in studying maths and chemistry and physics. Nand Kumar being an MTech in electronic engineering, he also helps Piyush in the same. Harshad helps them study the accounts part, and Ajay again helps them study physics. So that is how we are working forward. And we want more people to come in and help in the accounts and the commerce sections, especially because there aren't enough people to work on that side. That is for something a bit which we thought we can do for the society, which we are doing. Apart from that, Piyush and Nandu, Nandkumar, Nandu, these 2 love dogs. Before I moved in, they used to take care of street dogs. And I really liked the idea, so I joined them in that also. So we take care of the street dogs. We get the tukda chawal from the market, we boil that, each one at their home. And then we blend it with milk and water. And then we go around in the colony to feed the dogs. There are plenty of dogs. In the government colony, they are always huge. So we usually take a scooter or my car and then we go.
You said you had a lot of differences with your father and he's not close to you and you have a different personality. What is the difference between your father and your personality? What is the problem that you face?
So Papa doesn't like to face the situation. He doesn't like to face the facts. He usually wants to have a blind eye towards things.
For example?
So for example, there was a dispute, not exactly a dispute, but there was one thing which I didn't like. My elder Tauji, he is living in a house which was in my dad's. My dad is no more now. But what my point was, let Dadi have the right over the house. Let her decide what should be done. As the elder person and as the owner of the house, that is her right to make the decision. Tauchi never let that happen, and Papa never raised an point against it. I was the sole person fighting against it, and I really didn't like it because something which is right and is not happening. You're the one who's supposed to take the stand. Papa on this side had the point that if I take any stand, there would be a feud in the family, there would be a fight within the family, which he wanted to avoid. So he tends to run from the situation. I want to encounter them, I want to take charge of them, and I want to face them right in front. Because running away or ducking in like an ostrich won't help. So that is one thing which we have a difference. Apart from that, sir, I actually like to stick to what is right now. Papa likes to think about what will happen in the future. Future is very uncertain, that's what my point is. Papa always thinks, save now, save now, save now, save now. Yes, this is something which I've learned from him. But again, at the same amount of time, saving entirely everything, because being from the economic side, I know the depreciation of rupee and all those concepts attached to it. Even if you deposit your money in the bank, the inflation being at 10-11%, you're losing out on 3 percentage points of your money. So you're literally losing out on 100 rupees of investment. You get 97 by the end of the year in real terms. So So you're losing out. So that's what I asked Papa. Rather than just saving it in the bank, invest in securities, invest in secure gold, for instance, a safe investment given his age. So all these things, which he doesn't agree.
So what are the activities you are involved in your house?
In the house, finally, mom has given me some ambit of investment opportunity from her end. So I help making her investment decisions. Apart from that, basic things like getting the milk in the morning, that is if I'm up at that point of time. So I go and get the milk and the bread from the market. Apart from that, the basic things which I can do, I can clean my room. I don't let anybody bother about my room mess. So I keep it clean and tidy. And these are the basic
So
things.
what is your daily routine, let's say on a holiday or on a working day?
On a holiday or a working day. So I get up around 9:50 on a holiday. Then followed by Papa has already gone to the market to get these things. Then I don't do anything. Elsewise I go to the market get these things. Followed by watching TV with my sister, with whom I usually share all my issues also. Watching TV. Followed by lunch. And after lunch around 3 o'clock I go out to play cricket. When Nandu and Piyush, Harshit and Ajay play cricket. And other people also join in when we are in the community center. So we play cricket till 5:30. Followed by that we at Piyush coaching center on Saturday, Sunday. It's a huge and there are a lot of students. So all 5 of us have to be present. Then we teach them. And after teaching them, we usually get free around 8:30 or 9. We never go to that. Then we go back home first. We eat our dinner fast. And then we blend the rice is usually ready. Our parents do that for us. We blend the rice and all. And we go around and by 11:30 we are back home. That is our schedule on holidays. On working days, the burden is a bit less because we don't have that much burden of the coaching classes. Plus coaching classes start earlier on working days. So we are usually back by 11 or 10:30, 11. 1 hour spread is there.
Interesting to see. So you talked of a lot of games and sports. You said you play a lot of cricket, you also said football, you also talked of athletics. So what really are the games and sports that you've been playing since, let's say, 9th class onward? And what all levels have you reached so far and what efforts are you putting in towards that direction?
Sports, like cricket and football, the highest attained is school team and college team. And in athletics, I told you sir, in 12th, long jump, state number 4. And apart from that, we didn't get much facilities around. And study was something which I had to give more attention towards. I did give up sports, but for long jump, I had to travel to a different place. And that required me to bunk or miss more classes. You can figure it anyway. And I didn't want to do that because in India, we need marks. We don't have marks for sports.
So doesn't your stamina get affected by the amount of smoking that you're doing every day?
So I run in the morning if I get time. On working days, if I get time, if I get up, because I maintain that much. Whenever I get time, I do run around a lot and I play the local sports also, for instance, right now. So running around, playing around, it hasn't affected much, but yes, it has.
What about drinking and other habits?
I'm also happy with it. Because drinking is something in which I will lose my senses. And I don't want to be out of senses. Occasionally, maybe beer is something which I would have. That is also once in 2 months or something. That is.
But some of the drinking minimum age specified in Delhi is 25. So don't you think you are going against the law by going and having a drink at time?
So again, the law is something which needs to be made sensibly. This law in specific, so there are certain laws which I'm absolutely against. Because already this is something which has been flaunted all across. And what is the use? If you can't have a strict restriction on it, it doesn't make sense having some law like that. Like we have the seatbelt law for cars. Now that is being implemented well. Having a law like that makes sense. But for liquor, having a law of 25 years, it doesn't make sense. So even if we talk about marriages, a person can get married at the age of 21. He would never control in Delhi, living in a city with a massive population of 167.53 million. You can't relax, you can't control all these things. And such laws need to be changed.